What's up, my dudes? I thought I'd give you guys an update on what's going on with the Mark II, since I haven't really been posting about it since I finished the SRT and suspension swap. Since the car sat for so long, my battery died, so I went to go get a new one from AutoZone, and when I turned the car on, I was having this problem where it would turn on and stay on for maybe like 1 to 3 seconds and then die. Before, this was something that happened regularly with this car, except I would have to give it gas and keep the RPMs up so the car wouldn't die, and then maybe after like 5-10 minutes it would idle fine on its own. But that wasn't the case this time. I did some research, and if you know JZs or some Toyotas in general, their ECUs sometimes go bad. The capacitors start leaking and a lot of things start messing up. You get sputtering problems, idling problems. Sometimes the car won't even turn on. I've had an ECU go out on me at the entry of Apple Valley Speedway in the 240 when I was running a stock ECU setup. So it's not uncommon that these ECUs just take a crap on you. But to try and confirm that it was the ECU, I took the car to Jason and we went through a list of things that we think could be the problem. Like the TPS, the idle control valve, the O2 sensor. We checked almost everything, and we kind of came to the conclusion that, you know what, let's just put a new ECU in it. But that's where I'm kind of stuck at now. So I went ahead and took off the glove box so I can reach the ECU. It's behind the glove box and it's bolted up right here, held on with these two brackets. But apparently with the non-VVTIs, there are two versions of ECUs. The early models, which is what I have, runs a 2-row pin ECU, and the JZX90s, those run a 4-pin. So I got the model number off of this ECU to try to find another one online, but for some reason the 2-pin ones are much more expensive than the 4-pin ones. Like, I can't find one below 600, so that's kind of where I'm stuck at. It's like, do I spend 600 to 800 on a used one that will go out? It's not a matter of if, it's when it'll go out. Do I spend the money on that, or do I save for a standalone? If I get a used one, at least I can drive the car around and test the car out, the new suspension. But obviously I would have just spent a bunch of money that I could have gone towards a standalone. But if I were to go to standalone, it would be kind of a waste to like get it tuned with the stock setup that it has right now, like stock injectors, stock fuel rail and all that stuff. And I would be wanting to do a top mount, and that was the plan for this car already, but I didn't think that I was going to be forced to get everything together so fast for it. So while it was at Jason's, we kind of went over a game plan of what we wanted to do with this thing, and there is a lot to be done on both the exhaust side and the intake side. And huge shout out to Jason, because we spent like 2 hours of his busy time going over pretty much everything, down to the size of the intercooler and the piping, routing of where it's going to go. I'm going to be changing a lot of things on both sides. And starting off with the intake side, I am going to be having to get a new engine harness, and depending on what Panic Wire says, I might have to take off my old one and send it to them, because I don't think they have these on the shelf. So it might not even matter if I get a used ECU, because the car's going to be immobile either way, because it's going to have no engine harness. A lot of these hoses are going to be cleaned up, and I'm still deciding if I'm going to go, because this is the igniter right here, and I'm still on the fence if I'm going to go with like a modern 1ZZ or R35 R8 coil packs for this thing. I don't know yet. I'll have to see the pros and cons, but right now price is probably the biggest con, because I know it's like $600 to $800 just for the brackets. And for fuel, depending if there is room in the bay, the stock fuel filter for this thing is underneath the intake manifold. It's in such a hard to reach location, and if I can move it maybe in this corner or over here, just somewhere where it's a little bit easier to change out later, I'll go ahead and do that. And for the rail and the injectors, I will most likely be going with all radium stuff like I did with the 240. These two pieces right here on the throttle body are pretty much ABS, but with your throttle. Instead of pulsating on your brakes, it kind of messes with the throttle, and I'm no longer going to be needing that once I go standalone. So this is going to be cut, and this is going to be rerouted for the piping, so that way it goes from here to kind of clean this mess up a little bit. AC is definitely staying on this thing. It works, no need to touch it. And this big bulky hydraulic fan setup has got to go. This is a radiator fan, and I'm also going to have to change out the water pump to a 2J one, and I'm most likely going to be going electrical fans if I can get them to fit in here. For the exhaust side, we're saying goodbye to the twins, and I know for sure that I want another TD06 because I know they don't make the greatest power, but I don't know, I guess I'm just a TD06 fanboy because I just love how they sound, and I want that for this car as well. But I'm still working out with Jason what size I should be getting because the non-VVTi is already very laggy, and I don't want to put on something that's too big and it'll make it even laggier, because this is still my backup drift car. I need it to drive well at the track and not just be good for highway pulls. And that's kind of where I'm running into my next problem, and that is what manifold to get. For some reason, for the non-VVTIs, it's so hard to find a company that has like sound clips or examples of what their manifold even looks like on their car. And unlike the 240, I'm not doing the exhaust setup again twice. Whatever the car ends up sounding like, that is what I'm going to leave it at, whether I like it or not. And it's the same thing with the 240. I want this to sound as close to a stock 1J as possible. And I've been listening to a lot of videos online, and people are getting good results out of the stock twin turbo manifold, and they just upgrade the twins. But I'm not going to do that. I really want to go single and have everything easy to work on later, and I don't want to deal with twins. But the problem is no manifold that I have heard comes close to sounding like a stock 1J. But that's also due to the fact that nobody has any examples of what their manifolds sound like. And I'm talking about like Walsh, Cinco, 6 boost. I had a 6 boost on the 240 on the VVTi, and I did not like how high pitched it sound. Third strike, there's no good examples of what their sound like. Just pictures of it installed, but nobody is putting up clips of what it sounds like under load. Like, not like there's some dyno videos, but you dynoing it versus like you laying on the throttle mid drift or flooring it down the street, those are two very different things. But if you guys have any recommendations of a manifold that is kind of what I'm looking for, I'm all ears. I'm open to any recommendations. You know, don't be afraid to throw them my way. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the Mark II. Those who know that this is not a cheap thing to do. It's gonna cost me a lot of money, and that's why I'm very back and forth whether I should just buy a used ECU if I can find one for cheap, or if I should go standalone. And well, I was gonna go standalone, but if I should go standalone right now, because if I go standalone right now, I'm gonna have to gather all of that at once. Also, I did run into a problem with the coilovers from Silvers that I put in, and that is that the front shock bodies are way too low, and the car is pretty much just on the ground, like the bumper is just sitting. So right now I have the bottom mounts threaded into the shock body about like 4 turns, and that's obviously not safe, and it's still too low. So I emailed them and asked them if I can buy a longer shock body, and they said yeah. Let me know what size you need. And I told them I need 4 more inches, and I'm still waiting on those, and once that gets put in, then I can finally get this thing aligned. I didn't notice till now, but I forgot to set the height on the rear coilovers. Right now this is not where I want it. I just put them on just to get the car rolling, but I forgot to get back to it. It sucks. I haven't driven this car since I think like July of 2024 last year, and I miss driving this thing so much. When I first got this thing, it was some of the funnest times I've had like owning like a 90s car, because the car just worked. It took me everywhere I needed to go. I just love driving it, and yeah, it makes me a little bummed that it's just been sitting for almost a year, but that's where I'm at right now. Sorry to all the XA guys who chimed in and joined and followed the channel because of this. It's still going to be a bit longer until we're up and running. Until then, thank you guys for watching me yap for so long, and any small updates I have on this thing, I'll make sure to keep you guys in the loop. There's still a lot of things that I can do that doesn't require the car to be turned on or the new turbo setup to be here. So hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Peace.